Good day. My name is Chantal Brine. I'm the CEO and founder of EnPoint. And although I can't be there with you tonight in person, I did want to share a few just personal stories and some examples of encouragement for how and why mentorship as an entrepreneur can make a difference, not just for your business, but for you personally. And so I wanted to share two statistics to ground this couple minute time that we'll be together and really help you think about how you can invest in your own self and why to consider doing that if you're not already invested in engaging in mentorship in some way, shape, or form. So, from a 2023 industry and business report, 73% of Canadian business owners reported an increase in revenue after joining some kind of structured mentorship network and participating in that. 73%. That's too big of a number to ignore and not use to help us understand that it's not just my view, Seed's view, and or other organizations' views that mentorship can make a difference, but this has actually been verified by a number of entrepreneurs and Canadian business owners across Canada as recently as 2023. Another key thing to consider is when we think about it from those of us in the early, or when you're in the early stages of your business, startups who participate in some kind of mentorship relationship are twice as likely to survive in their first 5 years and secure investment capital, than if they don't actually participate in those things. So again, really important to think about in terms of that is twice as likely to succeed and surpass 5 years in business, and then to increase your opportunity to get capital if that is something you need within your business. So that's the statistics. You might be sitting there saying, well, like, what does it mean? Like, why is it something I should consider? What's the relevance to me? I don't need that. And look, folks, my business, the heart and core, what we fundamentally help people do is build meaningful careers using mentorship as a catalyst for growth to be able to get to the place where you want to be from where you are today in your career and that's in business too, quicker. And the getting there quicker is by not doing it alone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a solo founder. And so if any of you in the room are also solo founders, I would add an additional layer of encouragement to seek out mentors because it is lonely. It's lonely for all of us. There's another layer of loneliness when you don't have that person you can turn to and bounce ideas off of, right? With the same level of information and directness as you can with somebody who is, a peer, right? And so having mentors around you who are invested in your success, not a specific definition of success of the outcome or an outcome, for example, of the business, but who are invested in you as an entrepreneur, takes away the lonely. It will help you identify blind spots quicker. And those blind spots, folks, they cost money. They cost lost opportunity. They cost mistakes that can be avoided. And look, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to fail. That's part of the journey. We all know that. If there are certain things you can avoid, certain pitfalls, certain traps, certain bridges that you can cross quicker because you're able to tap into a reservoir of somebody else's lived experience and learn with and through that, why wouldn't we take advantage of that? Right. And so very much statistics show the value to both the business from a revenue, from a sustainability, from a growth, from an investment attraction perspective. And then there is also data and just the qualitative lived experience of entrepreneurs who will tell you that it is lonely. And so mentorship as a vehicle to help take the lonely away is important. So both from a business perspective, there's gains, and from the personal perspective, there's gains, particularly for those of you, like I said, who are going it alone in terms of solo founders. One of the things I was asked to do was just share with you a couple quick hits around how to make the most out of meaningful mentor-mentee relationships. So let's assume that we've convinced you that participating in mentorship is a valuable thing to do. Great, check the box. Step 2, engaging in the relationship. I'm just going to highlight a couple things here quickly. One, it is continuing to bring that sense of openness and vulnerability and transparency to the relationship at every single stage and step. And that means sometimes being uncomfortable, right? Not rushing to fill silences, not rushing to have all of the answers, not just continuing to do the same thing over and over again, but rather using mentorship as the vehicle that it can be. And when it really is its most powerful is when you create space for yourself, one, to show up and really engage. So be present, engage, be in the moment and in the time with your mentor, however you choose to meet. And then, this is the really critical part, bookend that with self-reflection. What is standing out for you? What felt uncomfortable? Why did it feel uncomfortable? What felt really easy and natural? Why? Really examining what you're taking away from each meeting and or interaction. And then also, post relationship, when it comes to an end, if there's a structured relationship. But the critical piece one of the things that makes mentorship really transformational as a vehicle for in career development, and entrepreneurs, we have careers too, right? We just get to call our own shots. It is the power that comes from digesting the information and contextualizing it and deciding, what does that mean? What are the implications of that information, that advice, that guidance to you and to your business? Your mentor's role is to guide, but ultimately we as mentees, and when you're in that mentee space, it's you that's going to take the action, and informed action, and informed in this case from reflecting on what you are learning along the journey. And then step 3, even if it gets uncomfortable in the space of when we think around going outside of your comfort zone, stick with it, right? That first or second meeting, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for us to find a rhythm. It takes longer than that to build trust, and we all move at different speeds of trust. So understanding that to get the most out of any mentor-mentee relationship is you need to be prepared to invest in it. The more you put in, the more you'll get out of it, right? And so those would be my top 3 tips in a short amount of time in terms of how to get the most of that relationship. So I hope with that, it's enough encouragement that if you've been on the fence, not participating, to participate, sign up, bring the power of mentorship to you and to your business. If you're already engaging in mentorship, I hope that was just a little moment of critical reflection around what of those 3 things can you be doing a little bit better? What are the 1% improvements so that you can gain even more value and benefit, and add value and benefit for the mentor that you're engaging with, and or if you're actually mentoring somebody else, how you make that the best use of both parties' time. Happy mentoring, everybody. Thanks.